This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Tunnell Raysor.
Now, in case you didn't know or you need a little reminder, texting while driving is against the law in all 3 states on Delmarva: Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. In fact, in Delaware and Maryland, there's also a ban on handheld devices while driving.
So what can you expect if you are caught driving while distracted? Well, joining us today to tell us is attorney Jamie King with the law office of Tunnell Raysor. Thank you so much for joining us, Jamie. It's good to have you.
Yep, nice to be here.
Regardless of how many times it's pounded into our head, we still do it on Delmarva. What?
It's one of those things we need. Unfortunately, we have the tragic situations that have to give us those reminders, and I think a lot of the states are being progressive in campaigns to enforce the no texting and the distracted driving.
Yeah. And distracted driving is what we're talking about, and it's not just talking on the phone or texting. There's
right.
a lot of other things.
Anything: eating, drinking, reading a map, fiddling with something in the car, or talking to passengers.
Even adjusting the radio?
Yeah, anything that takes your mind and eyes off of the road can lead to that distracted driving.
Okay, so take us state by state and explain just exactly what we're talking about here. In Delaware, some impressive numbers here.
Yeah, in 2013, Delaware had 19,500 citations for the distracted driving, and it's just over 30,000 since the inception of the law a few years ago. In Maryland, it's 14,490 were charged during that time period, October to April.
Right.
And Virginia has a Drive Smart program and some really interesting statistics. 8 out of 10 crashes are as a result of distracted driving, and they found that you're 23 times more likely to be involved in an accident if you're doing one of these things that we consider the distracted driving. So pretty powerful numbers.
And there are different types of distracted driving.
Right. The CDC breaks it down into a visual where you actually take your eyes off of the road, manual, taking your hands off the wheel for whatever reason, or messing with something inside of the car, and a cognitive where just your mind is elsewhere and not necessarily paying attention to the road or what you're doing and being safe on the road.
Okay, so any one of those 3. I get caught distracted driving. What kind of fine or punishment am I looking at?
Pretty much across Delmarva, we're looking at there's civil violations, and it can be anywhere from $50 to a first offense, and then when we get repeat offenders, they can be civil violations up to $250.
Now, to me, that seems like just a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
So, but if you are charged with distracted driving or texting or on the phone or whatever, it could really cost you in the long run, couldn't it?
Absolutely, and I think in fact, Maryland is being very progressive and just passed a new law, Jake's Law, which could lead someone, if they are distracted driving or texting and cause an accident, that they could potentially land in jail, and legal fees, and your freedom could potentially be taken away. So I think over time, with more of these situations, that we're going to see states become more progressive in enforcement and penalties.
Dangerous game you don't want to play. Now, if something does happen, police can actually subpoena your phone.
Absolutely. The typical accident situation is becoming more and more often that it is discoverable information. The technological world that we live in, all that information is recorded, and it's certainly something in our practice that we do get those records on a regular basis.
And the red light doesn't always save us. I mean,
that's right.
Some people text at the red light.
Yep, anytime you're on the roadway, your job is to be safe and be attentive to the road, and anytime it's just not a good thing.
All right, Jamie, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Good information. We always need to be reminded. And to read more about the Tunnell Raysor law firm, including its area of practice, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.